Hey, 2-1 West Ham against Burnley. They never make it easy, Dan, do they? Was you sweating a little bit towards the end of that game? It was one of them ones where I thought, you know what, they're going to get something. And I think when it's gone over Diop's set, I think Diop's cleared it back and Fabio, Soufal's made that block. I thought Rodriguez is going to score and it's going to be that draw. But thoughts, mate, immediate thoughts, fresh off that game.
Yeah, no, heart was in my mouth, mate. Again, to be honest, they never make it easy, do they? But no, it's good to get one over Burnley. Obviously, the double. I don't know when we last did that. Probably a while back, to be honest. But obviously, initially, I thought, this is one of them games where we went behind. But to call it back, mate, and the football we played at times was superb. When we got that black kit on, we're a different animal. And
Barcelona, mate. Of old.
Yeah, we just should have put to bed a bit sooner, to be honest. But that's my only complacency part. But apart from that, I thought we deserved our win. We were worthy winners, and it was good to see Antonio back because I thought that was a risky decision, putting him straight in.
Yeah,
but bang on. He got the team selection bang on today.
Yeah, some of the football we were playing at times with Benrahma had a really good game. Lingard wasn't probably his more prominent self, but just the link-up play between all three of them at times. We had them on the ropes, and it's some of the best football I've seen in a long time for West Ham. And I think having Mickey as that focal point just gives us something else as well. Like I thought we did okay in the games without him, but when he comes back in, even just to get on the end of stuff, that's the difference between drawing and winning games.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that focal point, isn't it, that I think we've missed the last few games, especially against Newcastle. He's just a target, isn't he, in the box? He occupies defenders, and I think he was right to put him in from the start because if you play Lingard there, he's not got that natural movement in the box next to the defenders. So playing Antonio there, I thought he was fantastic, by the way. I didn't think he dropped off the pace from the Wolves game. It looked like he's not being injured. Do you know what I mean? He was and he's just a nuisance, mate, isn't he? Every game he never stops running. He was very tidy on the ball as well. Just should have buried a few more chances. He was a bit wasteful, maybe. I think he wanted that hat trick a bit too much. But no, he made a big difference today. Yeah, and it was good to see him back.
He was brilliant. Like at times he was just, the hold-up play that we know he has, the energy, the pace. And I think there was a bit of worry for me coming into this game. You've chucked him straight in after he's been out for three games. And the thing with Antonio, it takes him a while to warm up, but he just come in and he was like raring to go, raise the shot. And I felt that, I know we weren't great. Like it seemed like it was a sort of a bit of a cloud. And sometimes with West Ham, it's a bit sort of takes you 10, 15 minutes to get into it. And Burnley obviously capitalised on that. But I thought we did look sharp. We were up for it. And the minute Burnley got that goal, I thought we were ready to go, snapped out of it. And the football we were playing and the deliveries, mate, from Cress and Soufal at times tonight were frighteningly good.
That's good to have Cresswell back in because he gives that. Johnson's very good at crossing, but obviously not as good as Cresswell. And he just makes us tick, mate, as well. He's very good on the ball, doesn't really give it away that much. And he's trusted with Benrahma as well. He knows to play there. And yes, I thought Soufal was superb today. Again, he was probably one of our best players, bar Antonio. The crosses he put in, mate, especially for that first. It's on a plate, isn't it? Antonio just needs to get on the end of it. But no, yes, superb all round in attack, different fluidity, variety of attacks, and we caused them a lot of trouble. They never really had the ball up top, did they? They never really had a.
No, they had one angle, wasn't it? One angle. Westwood get on the ball, try and play it between Diop and Dawson, and try and get something from that. Other than that, I didn't really feel that they had any real creativity on us. They didn't even really get at like a Lanzini, which would have been before the game a little bit of a weak point. And even when they did, Lanzini would just pop it off or play the right pass at the right time. We just had it. We were spot on times. We were frustrating, but there was some really good moments in there.
How often do we say though we've had what? How many attempts on goal today? Was it near 20 in a game? You know what I mean?
Stupid amount. Some of the decision making, mate. I mean, I'm going to watch that game back. It is frighteningly bad. How can you be that good in build up, in keeping the ball, and then the last bit you need, you fall apart? If West Ham had some decent finishing ability in there, that's a 5-1 game. We're clear.
I want to see what our XG is actually today after that, to be honest. If anyone in the comments has it or something. But yeah, no, exactly. But we don't say many times how wasteful we are. But I think, there's plenty of, I think Antonio twice in the first 20 minutes, he was wasteful on 2 occasions. Obviously, Fornals in the second half, Benrahma was a bit wasteful. because he's just desperate for that goal. He probably deserved it today after his performance. So we had chances everywhere. I think, that shot map when it came up, I think all 4 of our players were in the top 4 list of it. So just goes to show how many opportunities we created. 2.46. Yeah. It's big. It's big. So
I feel like it should be more. I feel like it should be even more though. Like I don't really understand XG properly, but seriously, like the chances. I know you say there was a bit of a drop off, and I think Lingard maybe, if you're being like really, really picky at times, sometimes slowed it up and didn't really make a shot on target. Benrahma at times snatching at things, but I've got to jump straight into it. Benrahma's cross for the second goal, man. I mean, come on, that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I like about it? Do you know what I love about it is because you watch so much football when you play it, right? And you see Burnley try and push their line out just a little bit, and the way that he's played it just to spin around, and Antonio's on the shoulder. I was like, mate, poetry in motion. Like that's what I said to you, didn't I? I said it would be a bit of a crossroads for Benrahma in terms of this is the game that he's got to really show his ability, and I felt like by and large, particularly first half, it was spot on.
Yeah. First half, he was superb. Probably one of the best players on the pitch. Like you said, that cross, just the dippage, just everything about it.
Dippage, just a little thing.
Just that, innit? Yeah. It's superb. To be fair, I don't know how he's got that in his locker, hasn't he? We've said this all along. It's just a case of him showing it, and we said on the preview show that he's got to play because he'll unlock it a bit more, give that spark, something different, and he did. I thought the second half he faded off slightly, perhaps because I feel like half he was so good that maybe he couldn't match that. But his goal will soon come. It really will. And I thought
he nearly did, didn't it? It nearly did. It was just around there. Antonio could have got a hat trick as well if he just latched onto it. It was that
move
kind of game.
Was so good, that move. All game that was happening. But I thought that was Benrahma's probably that first half was his best performance I've seen in a West Ham shirt from him. Maybe that pass game well intertwining, but he was just superb. They all were. And, for Lingard to have a quiet night just proves how good Lanzini, Fornals and Benrahma were, mate, and Antonio, obviously. So
Fornals will dip under the radar a little bit because he always tends to be that guy. But I thought in terms of pressing, winning the ball back, a lot of recoveries set us off in that phase of play where we could get in on goal in the final third. And again, like he's one of the players that just slips under the radar. But if you don't have him in your side, you lose that. And I don't think we have without Declan going and pressing up, you lose that kind of hard-working player that's going to win the ball back. And listen, when we bought him, we thought we'd get a number 10. All of a sudden, we've got. I think he's moulding a bit into a number 8 with a bit of technical quality as well.
Yeah, no, he's like an Iniesta, isn't he? That's it, though. Yeah, he is. He's like West Ham.
Gattuso.
But I thought initially it was harsh dropping Bowen because obviously Bowen's been in good form lately. And I thought, hang on, is this right? It's a bold decision, but you need a Fornals against the Burnley, don't you? You need him to work hard, especially with Lowton and Charlie Taylor bombing forward. You needed hard-working wingers, and Fornals is exactly that. Yes, he slips under the radar a lot. You're completely right, but what is it? Most final third passes today, ball recoveries. He was up there like second or third. He's pivotal to how we want to play under David Moyes, I think, because he works so hard on and off the ball. And he's got quality as well, mate. He gives it away a few times. Second half example where he could have shot, but he didn't. But
that's the only criticism for me. I think that one bit of play should have just taken it with his right, or just tried to play it rather than cut back onto his left. It was too easy, I think, and there was one movement as well where Lingard made that, and that's the only thing I could also be critical of is the fact that when you've wait, I'm pulling that up. That's getting clipped. He's had enough. It's time to go.
I'm not talking about it too much, but he's on Twitter every minute of every day, mate. But
no, it is what it is, isn't it? It's battles. Yeah. But no, Lingard had made a move through the middle, and we played it out to the wings again. And I'm like, if we were just a bit more direct at times, ironically, and played that right pass, we're in on goal. And to be fair, we had so many chances, and if we just done the right thing at the right time, then we'd be sitting here going, "That was an easy game." But we just never make it difficult. And one man that doesn't make it difficult is Issa Diop. I'll let you have the floor on this one because I said, maybe I'm being too harsh on him, but I think tonight shows exactly why I've got doubts about him.
Exactly. Whenever he got that ball and they were pressing, I had the shakes, mate. I was like,
yeah, you just needed enough.
Yeah, but I thought for the first goal, it was him to blame. Obviously, Souček made the foul, but I don't know what Diop was doing. He obviously lunged in too quickly. He was on the floor, couldn't recover. It was just a bit of a mess, to be honest. Apart from that, I actually thought he was okay. I thought he recovered well from there. But yeah, I just don't trust him, mate. I don't know. He's one of them defenders where
Go on. He's a liability. Go on, say.
He's not good enough. He's not good enough to start. No, for me, it's harsh, but if you want to play in Europe and you want to progress, I think we need another centre back. I'm not saying a starting centre back, but cover as well. That's been highlighted over the last few weeks. But I think obviously it's Dawson and Bonner, isn't it? The two main centre backs for me. Yeah. But Diop was good tonight. He's been good the last few weeks, but he's just got that mistake in him, and he can be a liability more so than the other defenders for me.
That's the problem, though. Is like, when you've got an issue when a team, you've got Manu Lanzini in holding midfield. You would think that if Burnley were going to try and nick the ball off you, they would go and press up, or Wood would drop deeper, or Vigil would do something right. The fact that they played the same ball with Westwood in between the two centre backs on Diop's side shows you that people know there's a vulnerability there. And whilst I think that in terms of winning headers, I thought he was decent. I thought in terms of getting those corners out and trying to take the pressure off West Ham at times, he was all right. But a lot of people are saying it in the chat about the fact that he almost takes a split second every time before he makes a pass. Yeah. And I'm like, does he know what he wants to do? That's the problem. I don't even think at times it's his positioning. It's the fact he just goes, no, I won't make the decision. The fact he's indecisive is what can cost us, and nearly did tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Like people have alluded to, he's good aerially, very, very good. But like you said, mate, the fact that they were pinging long balls over the top for Chris Wood to target, and Chris Wood was clearly targeting him, not Dawson.
Yeah.
As far away from Dawson as possible, because Dawson's better, with ground jewels, isn't he? So
very good tonight as well.
He was superb. Yeah, superb. Because he's had a bit of criticism lately. He's dropped off the pace slightly, which is natural for any player, by the way, with the standards we've set this season. But he was very confident in whatever he did, really. Good with the ball at his feet, good in the air. Didn't really give Vidra a sniff. Vidra was very quiet when he came on. And I thought he was superb. Yeah, good to have him back.
Yeah, and Vidra actually physically gave Diop a little bit of a run around at times, getting in between him as well. And Diop can't be physically bullied by someone like that either. And I think a lot of that comes down to body positioning and things like that. And yet, like a lot of people have alluded to and said, he does clear a lot with his head. He does go and win the first ball. It's not...
Yeah.
He's a frustrating player. But tonight, at the end of the day, if Bonner's in that side, half of those problems aren't happening. In fact, I think Burnley's attack would have been reduced so significantly, West Ham could have probably buried that game.
All happens, yeah, mate.
No, it doesn't.
Happens
because they didn't have anything, did they? I know someone said in here, Dwight McNeil's been quiet tonight. That was the danger man, wasn't it? Really, if he's out of it, where are you going to create? It's really just from set pieces.
That's what we said in a preview, wasn't it? You've got to keep Dwight McNeil quiet, and they said it before the game as well. Was it? I think it was Henry or Carragher that most of his assists do go to Chris Wood, and we didn't really let that happen tonight. I don't remember them having many crosses, if I'm honest. We stopped that really well. Obviously defended wide, and it worked, mate. To be honest, I thought Koufal was obviously superb. Souček was very good again, but that's standard for him. So yeah, stopping McNeil was the key tonight, and we done that really well because he's a very good player.
Yeah. I don't know about left wing back, but I'll take him away. I do like McNeil. And actually, what was interesting, I think Anil talked about it. Soufal dealt with him really well. Watched the last game back. Soufal wouldn't get close to him, a bit too scared. But this time, straight out to him, pressure on him, doesn't get time on the ball. And then all of a sudden, Burnley. I said they're limited. They're very limited in how they're going to attack West Ham. So you can try and overwhelm them in that midfield. And honestly, mate, I don't know about you. First 10 minutes. We're sort of playing it out from the back. I'm thinking, why are we playing out from Fabianski? We don't normally do that. And we were actually inviting the press. And I was like, are we good enough to do that? But when that first goal went in, and about the 20, 25 minutes after that, some of the beating the press and the passes off that were fantastic. We were literally playing through the phases straight up to their goal. And it was unreal. And I was thinking, this is another level. That's the next step for West Ham. And I know it's only Burnley and things, and people will say that, but it's positives. Like long term, Moyes is working on different game plans, and a lot of people have said it was an attacking West Ham tonight. If we see that in the future, everyone's going to be excited by it.
Exactly, because I remember when I've been turf more the last few seasons, mate, and and it's been a similar game, but we haven't dealt with that high press very well. We've always been shaky, hoofing it or giving it away in certain areas. But tonight was completely different. That shows the progression under Moyes for me. The fact that these players now, like Lanzini, who's lost confidence and hasn't been the same over the last few years, is confident on the ball. Same with Dawson and distribution from him or Kufal, everywhere, mate. You can't really fault the players tonight. All working hard as well. And like you said, the passing between the lines and the movement and the fluidity of attacks was some of the best I've seen this season. Not just from West Ham, from all point of view as well. Yeah.
I was about to say, you know what the irony is? The minute it got down to the transitions that we're normally ridiculously effective at, the decision makings weren't there, and it was like we can't play that other game. We're playing that game better than what we play. And let's talk about Lanzini, because obviously WW mentions it. Should we try and keep hold of him or still? And listen, it is a bit of a light. I wouldn't say maybe a light bulb moment for Lanzini, where I said to you, you said to me, holding midfield for Lanzini, are you sure? But I just thought, well, as well as Noble has done at times in that holding midfield role, when you've got a player like that that's comfortable in possession, invites pressure on, plays the right passes, like it just relaxes me a lot more. Like sometimes when we've not got Declan in there, we're like, oh, we're going to lose it and you're going to get Diop exposed. But with Lanzini tonight, honestly, and even some of his recoveries, even clearing the ball, that he's an intelligent player. I know he's not the same player that he was a couple of years ago, but he's still got a brain in there. And I just think maybe we can get something out of him.
He's always had a brain in there. He's always been a very intelligent footballer, hasn't he? But I feel like over the years at West Ham, Lanzini's always dropped deep, hasn't he? If he's not in the game, against anyone, he'll drop deep, like almost like he was tonight, really, where he's meant to be in the attacking midfield role. But that's what he can do. And like you said, with Noble's got a good passing on him, but it's not as good as Lanzini's, is it? And the only concern for me, though, mate, before this game was, would they overcrowd Lanzini a bit? Would they look to take advantage of that? Because that's not his natural position. But tonight he was superb. He allowed Souček to bomb forward as well and crosses sometimes. You've seen that a bit. And it is a light bulb moment, possibly. And tonight it makes you think, well, could he be a useful option in that centre mid role to cover Bryce Souček? Because it's clear he can do it. But listen, at the same time, if it's doubled his value in the transfer market, then that's another thing.
Yeah.
But, no, credit to him.
Like everything, isn't it? Like you'll get games like Burnley where we could play a single pivot and it will work. Do you know what I mean? We could have that other player, and the fact it was like you touched on, bang on, the fact that Souček could get forward again, like his value in terms of influencing things, or at least being a threat within the box, was back. And like Tony says again, like he just looked really adept to it. Like not even just in terms of passing the ball, but his understanding of the positioning for a guy that hasn't played there. I mean, it's superb. I know, and he dealt with the pressure well when it comes to him. So. For me, argument. I know they gave Mickey the man of the match. I'd give him in for as West Ham fans. You'd probably give it to him.
I would. Yeah,
level of performance.
It was just great to see him back. Like Mitchell says there, what a player. He is. He is. There is a very, very good player in there, and we've seen that. I think we picked him up for nothing, didn't we? He's always had that ability. That goal against Spurs earlier in the season, arguably a bit of a fluke, but it's also technique, isn't it?
Meant it.
Well, we'll go off that. He meant it, but no, it's just frustrating to see that he's being frozen out a bit because of players performing around him. But he has always had that ability. I just think that injuries hit him hard. But no,
not had a regular run of games either. Been hard to fit him in a David Moyes side. And when David Moyes first came in, he was the number 10, wasn't it? It was get the ball to Manu and get it to Arnie, and that's how West Ham will win games. And it was a bit sad for me. I think a lot of West Ham fans, you want him to do well, but how can we accommodate him? And then by sort of accident, really, by injury, he's found a position where not every game there'll be teams that will press a little bit harder, will be a bit more physical on him. But you're possibly maybe a West Brom or something like that down the line, or Southampton, maybe. Do you know what I mean? But I know Declan will be back, but it gives us options though. Do you know what I mean? Later on in the game,
I'd keep him in next week. To be honest, I think he's earned it tonight. I think he's
it does feel like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, why not? If a player earns it, keep him in. Keep him and Benrahma in there. I know Deck's probably coming back, and anyone else, and maybe you should start Deck. Obviously, he comes straight back in, but. There's options there, with Lanzini, that'll obviously up his confidence. The same with Benrahma. And when players are have that confidence, mate, and have had a good game like they have tonight, it just gives it's such a morale boost for all the squad, and it's good for the games ahead as well. So it's
Yeah,
positive.
it's like you've got a brand new option, haven't you, in centre midfield that you didn't know that you had in a way. And maybe his days as an 8 or a 10 are done. But I tell you what, if certain type of games, I think you're right, mate. I think I would try and maybe get him in against Everton or bring him on later. For me, I think Declan just has to come in if he's fit. I think that's just unfortunately the way it is. But I'm more comfortable knowing that he could come in and not scared, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Do you think the lack of the game management was on point? It was massively frustrating, man. I mean, let's talk Mickey. Predictably blowing after 60 minutes, and he takes off Benrahma. What did you think about it? Do you think that was the wrong choice? Or would you have kept Antonio on just for a physical presence, maybe?
Yeah, because I thought Mickey was doing well. I thought he never really faded out, did he? He was always a threat on the counter attacks. I would have taken off Lingard personally.
Yes, that's the only other one I would have taken off. Apart from the fact that Antonio was so, I just felt Antonio dipped hugely after when he got to the last 20. It was, and we know that anyway. And I think Bowen come on did all right, to be honest. But anything that worries me about Mickey, I don't know about you, mate, but when he plays 90 minutes coming straight back from injury, I just never sits right with me.
But they'll monitor him well, won't they? They'll monitor, they'll wrap him in the game. Yeah, I would have just taken Lingard off personally because I feel like he looked a bit tired tonight. Naturally, he's played a lot of games, hasn't he? A lot of games over the last few weeks, and I just feel like, especially after him limping the other week, I just think, all right, give him a rest and let someone else come on. That's the only thing I would have changed other than Mickey. But I thought they were the right subs. I thought it was the right game management. Yeah, to be honest, I feel like we were so threatening on that counter attack that I didn't really feel like we needed any more changing personnel other than Bowen, because I thought that was the right decision, but not for Benrahma.
Yeah, that's harsh on Benrahma for me. I think he did. I thought he had a really good game.
Well,
I think
if it opened up a bit more.
Well, he could have had a goal if Mickey had played him in, or Fornals. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Mickey. If he played him a little bit further in front of him, he scores and he gets that first goal and he gets it done and dusted with. Yeah. I personally would have taken Antonio off because I just feel that you've got a limited time frame with him. He works so hard, and to be fair to him, beforehand we were talking about probably a couple of months ago. Comes in sluggish for a month or two, and you're going, "Oh God, it's going to take him a while." But it stops right off the bat tonight. And when he starts going and he starts fading from games and not getting on the ball, and even when he's on the ball, he's so knackered. He's not making the right choices or even the right shots. I would have put Bowen on, and I think I would have felt more comfortable because of Jared's performances in a centre forward role. And I think he did well at one point in the game where he's dragged it from his own half and won us a foul. Exactly what he needed to do. That's the only thing I would have done. But I do sympathise with you a little bit on the Lingard thing because he was a little bit absent tonight, and that probably would have made a bit more sense if you just want Mickey in there in the box, bit of a presence, hold him off.
Yeah, no, exactly. But then again, Moyes might be thinking Lingard's joint top scorer this season. Keep him on if it falls to him. He's got that quality to put it in or lay it off for whoever. So yeah, I thought it was okay though. We looked so threatening on the counter. We were the better team. We were never really under that much threat. I don't think under that much pressure. Out from the corners in the last minute of the game, I feel like we dealt with them really well. Didn't feel like they had a sniff really, and it was it's credit to us, because they beat Wolves 4-0. The confidence is up. But after that goal went in that they scored, I thought they didn't have a sniff really.
Yeah, no, they were a little bit ostracised after that. And Tony says Antonio was full of running. I don't know if I agree. I think he did knacker a little bit. Benrahma's decision making, and I think I would agree with the decision making point. Actually, I do think as the game got on, Benrahma became a little bit more hasty at times. I think he played one decent ball into Mickey when he was in the box, but other than that, and listen, no one's saying it's easy. When I think sometimes West Ham slowed it up a little bit too much, and when Burnley got in their shape, it's really hard to break them down because once they're in there, you're never going to really jolt them out of position. Man of the match. Who's your man of the match? There's quite a few contenders tonight, mate, to be honest. I'll let you go first, as you are the guest, co-host even.
You know what? Lanzini tonight. I know Mickey scored 2, but I just feel like him coming back, starting his first game in months, I'd imagine. Big game for him, big test, especially in a new role for him that he doesn't play often. I thought he was superb, faultless. Made us tick, distributed well, didn't put a foot wrong. I don't know, Mickey got 2 goals and stole the headlines, but I thought Lanzini, and it's close as well because Fornals and Kufal are in there for me, but
That's the. But do you know what we've said it? How many times have we said it? How nice is it when you finish a game and you win it and you go, you could have had 3 or 4 man of the matches. You know, in the past it's always been one in it, or whoever scores the goal. And I think Sky Sports were a little bit lazy. I know we had a good first half, Mickey, but I think there was a lot of good performers in there. Tony says Antonio Fornals, Dawson, joint man. Fornals will always go under the radar. I thought he had a superb game. Not sure, but. See, I would have given it to Dawson, but I think just for just for nostalgia, I'll give it to Manu, because I think do you know what? Even just for sentimentality, just to go out there and put the performance that he did on tonight in a game like that, pressure's on, use his experience, intelligence, his technical ability on the ball, show us something that we haven't seen before. I think you have to give him credit, and I think unfortunately he will come out of the side with Declan coming back in, but. I would be comfortable him playing in holding midfield. And for me now, the conversation comes to he has to possibly even play over Mark Noble in the defensive midfield when they're both fit. Because I think that's just shown you some way that West Ham can play. And for me, no brainer. I think that's how much he's really influenced me tonight.
Yeah, top man. Just for the nostalgia as well. All them seasons watching him, he's been one of our best players for many years, I'd say. So, to see him do really well as well, it's certainly an option there, isn't it, for him to come in? I wouldn't start him there every game, because against the likes of Everton, when they've got midfield runners in Doucouré and Gilman.
Do you know what? That's exactly what I was thinking of. I was like, I'm not having Doucouré running up against Lanzini. That'd be tough, man. It'd be tough.
It would be tough. But there is games like that, like you said, against the West Brom that we got coming up as well, where Manu can probably play there with ease and be comfortable. And he showed that tonight. I thought.
I wouldn't be surprised against Brighton if we go 4-2-3-1. Try and do the same thing that we've done to Burnley's midfield, and maybe that's a role for him. But I'm happy we've got. He was brilliant, wasn't he? He was brilliant against Leeds again, wasn't he? He's such a player. Such a player.
He's just everything, isn't he?
I'm gonna just to clarify, I'm gonna fence it. Manu can have it, and he'll be on the thumbnail as well, because he give him the praise that he deserves when he deserves it. He's obviously saying your best player is Benrahma. Yeah, all right. I've given him props. I'm a Benrahma fan, but you've got to give it Manu. You've either got to give it Dawson. Soufal again, brilliant tonight. Fornals as well. We'll wrap it up there, mate, because I know you've got to get going. It's been a class post-match. Thank you, everyone, for watching on the West Ham Way. Like the stream. I'm going to watch the game back, see if I can figure anything out that I haven't seen, but I'm pretty happy with all of it. I'll probably just start waxing lyrical about Manu anyway. This is Manu Lanzini, the best defensive midfielder. Press resisted, 100%. Yeah, Cockney Perlo. Yeah, we got Gattuso in Fornals. We got the Cockney Perlo in Lanzini. It's unreal. What a difference 3 points makes, isn't it? Yeah, we'll have you back on, mate, this week. Thursday, we've got Everton on Sunday, so we'll do our pre-match then, and that'll be an interesting one, because I think Everton are dipping and sort of they've got a good bit of away form as well.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, they're gonna be a weird one, but it is definitely a must-win, and I think they'll have one eye as well on Aston Villa. My team for Everton will be out. What Everton look like, which is a bit of a mess, to be fair. They're a bit of an odd team. If they get their first team out, they're a decent side. And then, of course, we'll do the watch-along on Sunday at 4 o'clock, I believe. We'll start with a 4:30 kickoff. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your evening. Come on your wines. Still in the hunt for European football. Absolutely love to see it.